Good evening. Welcome everyone. We will start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance and silent meditation.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I have an attendance check of directors, please?
Mr. Kobach.
Here.
Mrs. Elio. Here. Dr. Kaufman.
Here.
Mrs. Hanley. Here. Ms. Holt. Here. Ms. Kemick. Here. Mrs. Lowry. Here. Mr. McCurdy.
Here.
Ms. Good.
Here. For the agenda tonight, I make a motion that we table item 10F under finance report. The resolution to authorize the district to enter into a short-term borrowing agreement for a tax anticipation time note up to $3 million to cover day-to-day expenditures due to the state budget. That will be tabled until next month. We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Executive session was held on November 4th, 2025 from 6:20 to 6:29 to discuss personnel. Executive session was held tonight from 6 p.m. to 6:28 p.m. to discuss personnel and advice from the labor attorney. Could I have a motion to approve the minutes? We have a first and a second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Petrosky, would you like to review the board goals?
RASD will provide learning opportunities to meet the needs of a diverse population and a dynamic workforce. RASD will continue to build transparent and trusted relationships with all stakeholders. And RASD will continue to build a culture of safety and support for all students, staff, families, and the community.
Thank you. Moving on to public comment. The purpose of public comment is not to debate with the board, but rather an opportunity to address the board on matters of concern, official action, or deliberation which are or may be before the board. The board requires that public participants be residents, including pupils of the district or taxpayers of the district. Those wishing to address the board must state their name and address. When recognized by the president, each individual will have 3 minutes to address the board. Mr. Seeley?
Well, you can see we on NC Road, Ridgeville. Got about 4 or 5 things I'd like to speak relative to the agenda primarily. Number 1, I have a document here which I pulled off the net, and you can look for different ones. Size matters, a look at school district consolidation. Very, very nicely written, but this is 2013 when this was written, okay? I just recommend that the board look at it. This is based on a comment last week relative to Johnsonburg. And I agree. Everything is terrible. And the other piece of it is that individuals are decreasing in dollars And meanwhile, the school district needs money, you know? And you can only take so much milk from a cow. On the buildings and grounds individual that you had here, there was no comment relative to boilers, other than all the boilers are good, okay? And as far as I see your budget process, I hope you change it, but does not allow for the board to go and review with the buildings and grounds fellow, go in one day and take a look at maybe 10 projects, rate them, and then either fund them or not fund them, one or the other. There's a statement in here about a RAN and a TAN, or RAN, I guess, revenue anticipation note. I would highly recommend that you do this because politicians are a different breed and you never know what's going to happen. So therefore, if you need $1 million, I would go after $1 million, $2 million, whatever it takes. And don't do a quizzical thing on it. Solar farm, last night I went to a meeting and they rejected the solar farm that was up across from the county township building. It's on a dead end, etc. Has a garbage dump, etc. And I went to 2 meetings. I spoke at both of them. One was to find out what they did, you know, yes or no, one or the other. And it was no, okay? That has been rejected. Does not mean the end of it, okay?
All right, thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Seeley.
Any questions?
None at this time, thank you. We will be moving on to Students of the Month with Mr. Heindel.
So thanks for coming. You can tell I'm getting old when the parents of the Student of the Month that I used to teach, and I should tell you something right now. I didn't have these when I taught, so remember. So, our first Student of the Month is Miss Lakin Pierce. Lakin was nominated by Mrs. Horning. Mrs. Horning said that Lakin is one of the hardest working students who always puts forth her best effort, completes work carefully and on time, and strong attention to quality, actively participates in the classroom discussions and activities, is kind and always willing to help others. You like that home? That's good. Okay, her favorite subject when I got the interview was art, and she wants to be an artist just like her grandmother. What she loves about our school are the teachers are all nice. How she shows kindness at FSG, she's always helping with math and helping with other random things in the classroom. Her advice to other students is to pay attention, be respectful, and help others. Her inspiration is our art teacher, Mrs. Johnson, as she is a great teacher who knows a lot about art. Our goal for our school is to keep the recycling program going. Her future career is to join her grandmother as an artist, and her favorite memory so far is the Halloween parade. Miss Lakin Pierce. So Lakin, I should mention, couldn't make it last month because she was sick. So this month, Calvin got sick today, but he made sure that he came back today for student. So Mr. Calvin Thomas. Calvin is in 4th grade and was nominated by Mr. Phipps and Mr. Hitton. Mr. Phipps and Mr. Hitton say that Calvin comes to school prepared, focused, and ready to learn every day. He completes high-quality work on time and participates actively in class. He exemplifies an Elker expectations with kindness, responsibility, and leadership. He positively influences his peers with his friendly attitude and strong work ethic. When I had the opportunity to interview Calvin last week, his favorite subject is band. He enjoys learning and playing interesting instruments. What he loves about our school, obviously band, it's always fun and a great experience. How he shows kindness, he helps others when they struggle. His advice to other students is to always make good choices, Wonder who sounds like her. Okay, his inspiration is Mrs. Rubenstraw, as she always pushes students to do their best and truly cares about their learning. His goal for our school is to bring back cursive writing, and I like that. Okay? His future career is to go to college for music, and his favorite memory is the Penny Wars, the Assembly, and the Carnival. Mr. Calvin Thomas. Congratulations, buddy. They're gonna give me sick already. Our second student of the month. She's nervous because I told her she had to give a speech today, so she's Miss Autumn Straw. Miss Autumn here was nominated by Mrs. Grumley. Mrs. Grumley says that Autumn models Elker expectations daily with a positive attitude and a strong work ethic. She excels academically, and she earned 56 AR points in the first quarter. That's outstanding. She's a role model who's always doing the right thing, even when not being watched. She enjoys dancing and running her own small business, making dog bandanas. You're not doing that once, right? I'm just checking. Okay. When I got a chance to interview her, her favorite subject is reading, and she likes to find text evidence in the stories. What she loves about her school is all of her friends, how she shows kindness as she takes extra time to help people with math. Her advice to other students is to always try your hardest. Her inspiration is Mrs. Grumley, as she is great at reading and helps us learn and move forward. Our goal for our school is to continue to teach reading to younger students. Her future career is to go to veterinarian school and become a veterinarian. Okay, and her favorite memory is spending time with her friends. And when Calvin dug her retainers out of the garbage can. Miss Autumn Straw.
He'll probably do that. Yeah. If we want to go ahead and get a picture before we move on to the high school, that'll be fine. And then you guys can get moving on. But congratulations to all of our students.
Can I get a board member to volunteer?
Calvin's my neighbor. Go ahead, come on up.
You can have two board members in it, go ahead.
Look at us.
Why not?
Yeah.
We did the over here last time.
All right, shall we practice them?
Renee, you can come up.
You're not gonna get detention, but all right. Hey, we got one more picture. Oh, yeah.
All right, good job.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming out tonight.
Congrats. Hope you feel better.
All right, Mr. Ferdowski, moving on to our extraordinary Elkers.
Okay, just like every other extraordinary Elker from the middle high school, we always have videos. And our first one is Taryn Dickinson. I have to apologize, she is an 8th grade student. I typed 7th grade. That was last year. But this year she's an 8th grade student. We have a video of her talking about the things she likes about school.
Hi, I'm with Taryn Dickinson, this month's extraordinary Elker. She is the daughter of Jason and Megan Dickinson. She was nominated by Miss Hart for demonstrating extraordinary help and encouragement to her peers. And so how did you feel whenever you found out that you were the extraordinary Elker? I was happy and excited to know that I was picked, of course. And so what are some of your hobby activities and hobbies in school? I play basketball, softball, and volleyball. Ooh, some sports. What are your favorite to play or watch? Probably basketball or football. And then who's your favorite teacher and why are they your favorite?
Mrs. Marche, because she makes her class fun and exciting.
I remember that. I miss Miss Marche. So then what are your future plans?
Hopefully to go to college.
It's great. And so one last question. I don't know if you've heard that student council is renaming the Elk. So what would your name be that you want to see the Elk?
Emmett the Elker.
I love that.
That's Taryn Dickinson, and these videos I think are getting better and better each time. We have a lot of help with making them work, and I'm thankful that we're able to show them being here, getting their extraordinary Elkers. Our high school extraordinary Elker is Michael Capello. He's a 12th grade student at the high school.
Hi, I'm with Michael Capello, the son of Jennifer and Bruno Capello, and he is this month's Extraordinary Elker. He was nominated by Mrs. Leveni and Mrs. Martino for being an extraordinary peer tutor down in the middle school. So how did you feel whenever you found out that you were this month's Extraordinary Elker?
I was very surprised, and it's just a good feeling.
That's awesome. So what are some of your activities within the school?
Wrestling.
And I know that you've, wrestling has been a big part of your life. Can you tell us a bit about some of your favorite memories or achievements?
I just like hanging out with my team, bonding, making memories with them.
Mm-hmm. And so, who's your favorite teacher, Mike?
Mr. Porter. He's very easy to talk to, and I can talk to him about sports.
And then, as you're an upperclassman, you're a senior, do you have any advice for the younger students here at Ridgeway?
Soak everything in. When I was younger, I wanted it to be over, but it's fun.
But with that, you're moving on to the future. What are your future plans?
I plan to attend a 4-year college and major in finance and continue my wrestling career.
Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
I think Sarah might have a career in interviewing and being in front of a camera. She does a great job with that, and the kids all seem to respond to all of her questions. So she does a great job making sure it's an enjoyable video for everyone.
Thank you. Moving on to board business. Under old business, we have our Middle High entrance construction project with our big documents sent out. When is the deadline for that again, for those?
November 24th.
November 24th, okay. So we'll have an update at our next meeting
Yes.
on those. And then our PA solar, we're waiting on roof load confirmations from the architect to complete the layout options for board review. And did they say how long that might take?
I expect to hear from them by the end of this week.
Okay, all right, so we'll get an update next month. There is no new business. We have an intermediate Unit 9 report attached for information only. Moving on to our principal reports. Mr. Heindel, do you want to go first?
Sure. Attached to the board report, I also have some other things I'd like to add. We just had parent-teacher conferences this last Thursday and Friday. I'm proud to say that we had a 96% attendance rate, which is outstanding. We had 340 out of 355 parents show, which I think is a great tribute to not only our school, but also our teachers for their direct communication with parents. Our Liberty Bell dedication, which was held last Thursday, I know Calvin had left already. He was the main guy. He was the main attraction down there. He represented all of Elk County and the student base. He got up, gave a big, huge speech. He was on Channel 10 News there, I believe it was. And then he also was part of the documentary that they put out there at the courthouse annex afterwards. In addition, the Mighty Elker Marching Band was there. It was just a great overall representation of Ridgeway. And last but not least, the 2026-27, I can't believe we're talking about that already, but it's going to be here before we know it. We're working together with the middle high school, Mrs. Petrosky as well, to kind of fix our schedule problems here at FSG. I know there's some different ways of doing it here, but in working with Mr. Petrosky and Mrs. Petrosky, we're kind of weighing the pros and cons to set up a schedule that we can share staff amongst both buildings and yet get the best bang for our buck for what we're providing for our kids in our classroom. And our goal is to get some type of preliminary draft by the end of the month into early December. Any questions?
All right, thank you. Mr. Podolsky?
Working with the schedule is something that we find is really important, and we want to make sure that we're going to be including that on our discussions moving forward here from our school report. So we are throwing a bunch of ideas out. We're going to get a committee in the schools. Mrs. Bentrosky has been kind of guiding Mr. Heindel and myself through that. So that's definitely something that we're excited about. Just making some small changes there to our schedule to make it a better experience for everyone. One of the other students that I wanted to talk about was our Rotary Student of the Month of October, was Gavin Kilpeck. He's recognized for academic achievement and leadership, both in the classroom and as a student athlete. And on top of that, he and Noah Gardner had a very cool welcome back to Ridgeway on Sunday. They were the bocce ball state champions, and they were brought in with the fire trucks and the police and the community, and that was really awesome to see. And we made sure they shared that on Facebook, and as a principal, you're excited to hear the extra things that our kids are doing in the community to make a really big difference. One of my goals this year has been to strengthen community engagement through school communication and social media, and that's something that I don't personally do on my own standpoint, so this is new for me, sharing every single thing that happens in the school. And I'd like to share, and I have it in the board report, but since August there have been 443,789 views on Facebook when I did my board report. There's been over 84,000 views on Instagram. So one of the things I said in my interview was, if we're not bragging about the things that happen in our building, nobody will. And so I'm very proud that that's definitely something that's reaching out in the community and let everybody know the awesome things that are happening. On top of that, we had a Veterans Day assembly today. We recorded it for the elementary to see, and we also posted it on Facebook as well. I can say that it was very touching, and there was a lot of really good essays written by the students. There was 3 that were chosen as the top 3. There's Preston Capiello was our top one. Brennan Ruprecht and Dana Beimel were the other ones that read their essays. And I would say that it was awesome. There was a bunch of veterans there, so that was cool. And I would say that as a principal, it was one of those proud moments that I had today. There was an announcement I made this morning with the help of talking to the faculty on Friday that I didn't want any cell phones at the assembly, and because I wanted the focus to be on the veterans, and all the students complied and there was no complaints, and they were really excited about that. They were great during the assembly, so they took it serious, and I know that we did our best to make sure the veterans really felt like today was a special day for them. So that was one of my proudest moments I've had so far as principal. Other than that, everything's been going great.
Great, thank you so much.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
I want to congratulate Zach. Him and Dan today, by being able to stream that from down at the middle high up to here, was like monumental. And it was just for our kids to see it at the 4th and 5th grade level. It was like us just being right there. The sound was great. The MC was great, Mark Casalio. It was just a cool day for our kids. It really was.
Oh, that
So
was
the tech department, good job.
Thank you, Zach. And the fact that you mentioned about the social media, I was actually going to mention that tonight because I've noticed it's every time I'm on it, it's like there's RASD, posts coming through. So I think it's great. I know it's, I've been able then to connect a little bit more by seeing some more of what's been going on. So thank you.
I was just wondering, what is the water distribution and beverage policy?
There was a change this year with like the water bottles. So kids now aren't allowed to have water bottles in school unless they have a doctor's note. So we have various, like at all the water fountains are cups now. Student council has purchased cups for the kids to use, reusable cups that get washed each and every day to make sure the kids are having water in the cafeteria or throughout the school day. So
Why was there a change in the beverage policy?
there was some concerns from years past where things might have been put into the water bottle that shouldn't be put into the water bottle. There was a couple times where water bottles were knocked over and water was everywhere and people didn't see it and were slipping on it. And then, I know as a teacher, when kids started carrying water bottles, all that you heard all class period was tinging on the ground, was the kids dropping the water bottle, so it was like a distraction. So we've been kind of really doing our best to give the kids the opportunity to have freedom to use the water fountain that we provide and have the cups that we can provide at the water fountain. So that was something that I walked into. And
So that was brought last year to the board. We started actually the transition in January. Cups hit the water fountains in January. Teachers were all aware that there would be no water bottles next school year, so we used the whole second semester last year to prepare everybody for that transition. Still was still shocking. But even though, we started that whole transition last spring with all of that.
Any other? Thank you. Questions?
Could you share the top 3 essays with the board?
Yeah, I could. Yes, I will definitely get that. And they were great, and so there was so many to pick from that we had to use like a committee and pick them and voted on them that way. So it was awesome. I will definitely share them.
Anybody else? All right, thanks. Mrs. Handel?
Thanks, Amy. To start off, I just want to talk about homeless. I know it's part of my board report that I always have in there every month. But this month in November is a very important month for homeless because it is our Homeless Awareness Week during this month. It is a state-established holiday to celebrate and bring awareness to the 50,000 students in PA who face a challenge of homelessness each year. So it is a week that is designed to bring awareness. School districts are encouraged to do different sorts of drives. Here at Ridgeway, we are going to be doing a drive for a lot of different products. We're going to be having the FSG students bring in certain hygiene items. The middle school has a list of items and the high school has a list of items. That notice went home with the elementary Take Home Tuesday today. I will be sending it out as well to the middle high school students. In the past years, we've done blanket drives, we've done washcloth towels, different items. And then prior to Christmas, we do a little goodie bag for each one of those families. And then if there are other students too that we also identify, we do use those materials, supplies as well to go home with other families. It comes in very handy during the year when things happen to certain families, such as a fire or losing their house, having to go live at the Royal for a while. So it is nice to have those things. So if you would like to donate, we'll take those donations through December. They also do a Red Shirt Day. It is just a day to really celebrate homeless awareness, and they call it the Red Shirt Day. And the state is celebrating it on Friday, November 21st. So every year I usually take some pictures if staff or the students wear red that day, and then I submit them to the state homeless representative, and then she will post them on their websites. In my board report, I had submitted that we had 27 homeless students as of last week. My secretary today told me that we're up to 29 in the little town of Ridgeway. And again, a lot of that can mean doubling up. So that means that they're couch surfing, they are living with relatives, their whole family might be in one bedroom of a house. It's not that people are necessarily living on the streets, they just do not have that permanent nighttime residents. So it just creates a lot of educational stability. That is a higher number over the last several years. We're usually in the 20s, but not usually that high so early in the school year. So, you know, November is our Homeless Awareness Month. Our IU9 special education meeting, at our last one, we kind of took a field trip. We went to the Out County Visitor Center. And while we were there, we did a state training on child count. And what child count is every December 1st, we have to do a count of all special ed students that are active with current IEPs in our building. It is a number that has to be accurate. It directly relates back to the federal funding that we receive for each child. There's a lot of work that has to be done for that within my department. I actually shut down my department for about 2.5 weeks with no meetings, nothing. My secretary and I will be found, you know, crunching data and making sure that our IEP writer aligns with ProSoft. We consult with Donna to make sure the PIMS and everything is right, and it's a very important upload that has to be completed. So that is a big thing that's coming up around the corner. The state doesn't care, we have Thanksgiving break, so. I'm still working, you know, training my new teachers. Some recent trainings that we did was pretty much training them how to open our IEP writer system, and then working on teaching them about specially designed instruction. Those have been going very well. The new staff is very pleased to have those little mini trainings. They do some of it at the end of the day, and then they stay kind of on their own time just to receive a little bit more guidance from myself and some of the more mentor teachers. My numbers were included in here. We are up a couple students from last month. We're at a total right now of 169 special education students. With current evaluations and things I have in process when we do child count, pending any moves, students moving in or moving out, I would anticipate we're probably going to be at 171 or 172 for our child count. Last year, I believe we were at 156. So that jives pretty well with our large incoming kindergarten class that we got this year, and only losing a few seniors last year. The 504s were up 3 more than last month. The gifted students were the same as last month, and I already talked about the homeless students. So that's my report for the month. Any questions? I'm not as fun as them. Mrs. Petrosky and I have talked about that. We have the more serious stuff.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Mrs. Sedlinger?
The least fun of all.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
The district is continuing to operate very conservatively with the use of local tax revenue as well as general fund reserves. The beginning balance in our general fund reserves was $2.044 million, and that's going to allow us to operate through the end of December. There's also $58,000 available in our capital expenditure reserves that we could anticipate using for general fund spending with board approval. And the cafeteria reserve balance is currently sitting at $391,000. However, we have been informed that the funding for the cafeteria is going to run through October and it will be exhausted. With the passage of the federal level funding, that could change that. So that could make more of those funds available going forward. I haven't been told that yet, but that is part of that package. So there's a chance that that funding could free up for us coming from the federal department. The remaining funds available, if we had to pull down that cafeteria reserve to fund cafeteria, would be about $150,000, which we could use for general fund spending, again with a board approval. There is a resolution on the board agenda tonight to free up those funds in the event that we have to use them for general fund spending. So that is on the agenda under finance for approval. We did have to table the resolution for the borrowing because we need additional information in that resolution regarding the tax anticipation note. We spoke with the solicitor today. He is working on that paperwork for us. It will be available for December if needed. So the plan will be to bring that back in December if in fact we're in a position where we have to do that. The state budget is currently still stalled. As I sent out this morning to everyone, there was a non-voting session today, which was promising because they were not supposed to come back into session until the 17th of November. I'm assuming they were all called back in, so there was a non-voting session today. There is a voting session tomorrow, so fingers crossed that that's going to make a move on the budget. They didn't indicate that, but everybody was pretty pleased that there's movement. So we'll keep tuned to that, and if we hear anything, we'll let you know as soon as we do. The monthly budget to actual for October is attached with my report. Review of the middle high security entrance is there, which we already covered under old business. The nutrition P&L for October 2025 is attached as well. We are operating at a positive balance of $11,000 for the month of October, so that was good. Our numbers for breakfast, average breakfast and lunch are shown. We are still seeing upticks in those numbers. That is very promising. Kevin is doing a fantastic job with that. There is a report attached in board docs from Kevin Nutrition, and it's attached in there for your review. I also have listed the Cyber Rockets placement and Jeff Tech numbers for your reference. Our cyber is again on the climb, which makes me a little nervous, but that is where we're at this point. Anybody have any questions?
All right, thank you. Mrs. Petrowski?
Yeah, thank you. So my report is attached. Just a couple things I wanted to touch base on. We've been working really hard to include our borough police officer and our SRO in a lot of our in-services, trying to just kind of unite our teachers with who the resources are. This last in-service, which I just want to talk a little bit about what we did. We had a full day for everyone. Chief Hinton came and talked about our state of the community, what he sees when he visits the homes, what they're facing as a police department, and then we are trying to then link that back to some of the poverty pieces in our January in-service. The CEC is coming in to do a poverty simulation with all of our teachers, just to kind of bring that all together. So this is what the police is seeing, and this is some of the reasons why and the root causes of some of that, just for some eye-opening experiences. So we want to thank the CEC for doing that. Susie Nussbaum came in and did some structured literacy. She finished off the structured literacy for our teachers. All of our teachers have to do that every 5 years if you have an elementary cert. And so she finished that off for our teachers, and we'll revisit that again in 4 years probably. I don't like to wait till the last minute for any of those things. We also, Amy, to your end about the water, we had Officer Schreffler do a field sobriety in service for our teachers, because there have been some concerns whether we had kids under the influence when they were in class, and so we wanted to make sure they had all of the information that they might need in case they spot something like that. And again, Mr. Heindel then also started on his scheduling conversations with his teachers. I also finished off all of the evaluations from last year. The state has to crunch all of their numbers and send their data to us in order to finish teacher evaluations. Because of the change in administration across the district, I had to do every evaluation and finish off those for the teachers, but they're all completed and ready to go for our report that ends up going to the state at the end of the year. And then next week we've been working on getting our data presentation together. The administrators will be presenting our last year's school data at the workshop in 2 weeks. I've also worked on developing the 26-27 school calendar. We're pulling the committee together in the next couple weeks for people to review, then head out to the general teacher union, and then we'll hopefully bring it to the board in January for your review. And that's about just some legislative pieces that I have in my report. Some things to watch for. There's House Bill 1648, where they're talking about putting in some student mental health days into law, where the students can take so many days off without counting against their attendance. There was also, I had reported last month about us reporting if any weapons or anything were found in schools, that we would have to report those out. That will take effect in 60 days. So we'll have to follow those guidelines in 60 days, how those will report out. And also just again to watch for, at the bottom, the emergency instructional flexibility for school districts. So this is, school leaders will declare an emergency. This is the ability to maybe shut schools down if there's an emergency or things like that, giving some teacher or the schools some flexibility with that. A lot of these things aren't supported by PSBA, but they're things to watch for that have been coming up since the budget has been so in flux. So, does anybody have any questions on any of that?
Yes. What constitutes a weapon?
So a weapon can be anything that is considered a weapon. So it depends on how it's used. So a pencil, if used to stab, it can be considered a weapon. If, a push pin, if it's used to inflict some kind of pain, it can be considered a weapon. It just depends within the act of what's happening, what is considered a weapon. I mean, obviously knives, guns, those kinds of things.
Any other questions? Thank you. We have no buildings and grounds items. Moving on to finance. I'll make a motion that we approve items 10A to 10E and 10A to 10E. We have a first and a second. Any questions on the motion? Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Mrs. Alio?
Yes.
Dr. Kaufman?
Yes.
Mrs. Hanley?
Yes.
Ms. Holt?
Yes.
Ms. Kemick?
Yes.
Mrs. Lowry?
Yes.
Mr. McCurdy?
Yes.
Mr. Koval?
Yes.
Ms. Good?
Yes. Motion carries. Moving on to policy, Mrs. Kemick.
I make a motion that the Ridgeway Area School District approve policy item 11A as listed.
Second.
Any questions? I do have a question on policy 005. I thought when we talked that that first section was going to be removed. About isn't that what we talked about, that those, because I asked for some clarification on why a school director could not be the secretary. And you said that whole section would not be there?
No, I said the section in red was what the PNN had recommended.
Well, I didn't have, that wasn't posted last week.
When I sent you the email about them?
When you, for the board, in board docs, it wasn't posted.
005.
The red. It was her notes.
But in the attachment, that red was, yeah, it was deeper into the document, yes.
Okay, I didn't.
Yes, it was, which is why we're changing the process. Yeah, that was in there. And I thought that's what you had asked with the red right there, that and shall not be a member of the board.
Yeah, I had asked for clarification on why that was, because other districts have had a board member be the secretary. I was just curious as to why.
And I think Donna had brought up too, because then the person completing the documents and providing them to the board then could vote on them if the secretary is a member of the board.
But that wouldn't necessarily be a conflict, because the board president approves the agenda before it's sent to the board.
So
I mean, that would be the same thing.
right, and I guess I'm looking at a PSBA recommendation, if you want to pull that out and we can send
No,
that.
I just wanted
Yeah.
clarification on why the PSBA recommended that. That's what I was
All right,
asking.
I'll find out.
That's what we
I'll reach out.
talked about.
Yeah.
And
Jen, do you know that? Do you have, Jen, her question about the, this is the organizational policy, 005, on the PNN, under officers, it had the school director shall annually, during the month of May, elect a treasurer who shall serve 1 year at the beginning of the first day of July after such election. The treasurer may be a corporation duly qualified and legally authorized to transact a fiduciary business in the Commonwealth and shall not be a member of the board. And it is the same for the secretary. Both of them, they recommend that they not be a member of the board.
yeah, I wasn't really asking about the treasurer, but
Right. I would say most school districts, well, they usually have I'm sorry, that's echoing funny. Often I think the business manager is the treasurer and the board secretary is some appointed employee from the school district. I mean, they're never board members that I ever see.
there have been in other districts.
I know Kim.
I'm just not personally
Yeah, Kane had-
familiar with that.
Kane did have it for a while, and that's just why I was curious as to,
So what's the question? Do you want to have somebody from the board?
I was just curious as to why it was put in there.
As a prohibition.
I don't know. I'd have to look at what PSBA put in there. I didn't specifically look at it. And when I hit the link right now, it doesn't go to it for some reason.
That's okay. I was just curious as to why it was put in as a prohibition. I was just wondering if there was an issue or if it just generally wasn't done.
I'd like to look at the school code provision, if it restricts it or not. I just don't remember off the top of my head.
That's okay. It's not that critical. That whole policy though has different different size type and
Yeah, she's gonna clean that up, yeah.
Any other questions? Can I have a roll call vote?
Dr. Kaufman,
Yes.
Mrs. Hanley,
Yes.
Ms. Holt, Ms. Kemick,
yes.
Mrs. Lowry, Mrs. Lowry,
Yes.
Mr. McCurdy,
Yes.
Mr. Koba,
Yes.
Mrs. Alio,
Yes.
Ms. Good.
Yes. Motion carries. Moving on to personnel items, Dr. Kaufman.
I move that the Bridgeway Area School Board approve the personnel items 12A through 12C as listed.
Second. We have a first and a second. Are there any questions on the motion? Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Mrs. Hanley,
Yes.
Ms. Holt,
Yes.
Ms. Kemick,
Yes.
Mrs. Lowry, Mr. McCurdy,
Yes.
Mr. Koba,
Yes.
Mrs. Alio,
Yes.
Dr. Kaufman,
Yes.
Ms. Good.
Yes. Motion carries. Moving on to extracurricular activities, Mrs. Alio.
I move that the Ridgeway Area School Board approve the extracurricular activities item, is it 13A and 13B? I don't have it.
These just information.
Just 13A? Okay. 13A as listed.
We have a first and a second. Are there any questions on the motion? Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Holt,
Yes.
Ms. Kemick,
Yes.
Mrs. Lowry, Mr. McCurdy,
Yes.
Mr. Koba,
Yes.
Mrs. Alio,
Yes.
Dr. Kaufman,
Yes.
Mrs. Hanley,
Yes.
Ms. Good.
Yes. Motion carries. There was a workshop held on November 4th. Are there any other matters that come before the board?
One thing, if you would indulge me, please. November is Thanksgiving month, and I just wanted to express my thanks to you all, board members, administration staff, for the good work you do, your perspectives you bring, your experience, all contributing, I think, to the success of the school district. And I want you to know I'm thankful for each of you.
Thank you, Paul.
We're thankful for you too. I think he echoes.
Even you.
All the board for all the work that the teachers, administrators,
Yes.
and aides, staff do for the district.
Yes, well said.
I have a question on 5A, you have support personnel recognition, there's nothing there. What is that?
So November is support personnel month, and typically we just recognize the support personnel that are employed in the district. It's just to honor them. We typically have our teacher appreciation, service personnel appreciation. This is service personnel appreciation.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah, when you put this out, it's cutting up in the bottom. The workshop is on paper.
That's board dogs.
We'll see what we can do about that.
We'll figure it out.
Anything else? All right, our next meeting will be Tuesday, November 25th. For our work session and our reorganizational meeting will be Tuesday, December 2nd at 6 p.m. with our board meeting following the reorganizational meeting. Could I have a motion to adjourn? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, thanks everybody.
Thank you for the delicious.
Good night, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Jen.